Welcome to February, or should I call it by its actual name? Valen Scoots. Valen Scoots. The time of month where we talk about everything romantic anime. Or, well, really it could be any show, but I decided to specifically just talk about anime this month because why not? You know, I've been on a good thing talking about cartoons and anime, so let's just continue the roll. Let's just continue the roll. And this time on Valen Scoots, we will be talking about Recovery of an MMO Junkie, or Recommendation of a Wonderful Virtual Life, or Net. You know what? I'm not even gonna try to butcher that name. This anime. Genuinely, this anime is so fucking good. I love everything about this. Like, romantic anime is probably one of my top tier things out of all time, but you'll never hear me include any of it within like my actual top list of shows or anything. Is that a problem? Is that a problem? I'm not sure if that's a problem or not. Do I disrespect romantic anime by not including it in my top 5 or top 10? Please let me know. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into what this show is about. MMO Junkie is an anime and manga series. The manga, written and illustrated by Ren Gokuyo, and the manga animated by Signal MD. The manga ran from 2013 to 2015, then went on hiatus for a few years, to later announce the cancellation of the series due to the creator's poor health. If the creator is watching this, I genuinely hope you are feeling better now. Like, seriously. Please get better. The anime ran in 2017 with a total of 10 episodes and an OVA. From what I could find, surprisingly, these 10 episodes are the majority of the manga chapters, with continuing stuff left out since it got cancelled to make it seem like more of a complete story. I appreciate the fact that they did this and respectfully didn't make any new content for it, minus the OVA of course. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Recovery of an MMO Junkie. Don't forget to subscribe, of course, while we're right here. Please go ahead and subscribe. It's free. The show starts us off by showing us the main character, Moriko Morioka. I hope I said her name correctly. A 30-year-old woman who quitting her job and announcing to herself and the audience, of course, that she is now going to become a NEET, which I honestly did not know what it stood for. I associated it with the right stuff. I just never knew what it stood for. But now after doing some research, I now found out that it stands for not in employment, education, or training. I think that's what it stands for. Not in employment, education, or training. I think that's what NEET means. Don't quote me on that. But that's what I think what NEET means. She is now going to dedicate her life to doing absolutely nothing but playing games and eating food, and occasionally going to the grocery store when those things run out. Not just a grocery store, just a convenience store down the street. That's where she gets most of her stuff from. And doing so, she stumbles upon the newly popular game Fruits de Mer. When she boots it up, she decides that this is going to be the first game ever where she creates a guy character. In this show, there's a lot of people that made characters that were the opposite gender, but at the same time, there was also this weird stigma around people that made characters that are opposite of who they are. Like, you do realize that's the point of playing video games, so you can have a different experience from a thing that's not exactly you. Like, video games are literally to escape your actual reality, so creating an opposite gender and a completely different name and everything genuinely makes a lot of sense. There is where she meets the guild that she will belong to, and a beautiful friend named Lily. Can I talk about the game right quick for you guys? So, the game and the real life that they're in, they have similar styles to them. Like, since they're both 2D animated, they look exactly the same. So I could suspend my disbelief and think that the game is different, but I think it's funnier to assume that the animation for their time in games and stuff is so good. The graphics are so good that it's basically emulates real life. It's basically real life emulation. Lily is the person that helps her get started in the game, kind of takes her under her wing a little bit since she's a little bit of an expert at this game. So they go on adventures together and we get to see their friendship growing. They give each other gifts, they hang out with each other all the time, they talk to each other all the time. They enjoy their presence. They just enjoy their simple presence. But one day, something strange happens. One night, Hayashi and Lily spend all night talking with each other and having a good time to find out, oh no, it's 5 AM and Lily has to get up and go to work by 9. Once morning comes, Moriko goes to the store because she's out of stuff, and once she passes the corner of a street, boom! She ran into some guy who was rushing for work and knocked her out. I'm pretty sure you see where this is going, right? You see where this is going. You're a smart guy. You're a smart guy. The guy's name was Yuta Sakurai. He took her to the hospital, made sure she was taken care of, and from that moment forward, multiple hijinks pursues in order to get these two together, with most of it being orchestrated by Sakurai's friend and co-worker, Koiwai. Sakurai is an interesting character. Just like Usui and Maid-sama, he comes from a rich or affluent family who he was entrusted with the funds of his family. And he also even lives in his own single apartment place. But it makes more sense in this one since these guys are in their late 20s and early 30s. He spends his time working, playing MMOs, and going out drinking with his boy Koiwai. As a show, there are a lot of conveniences that cannot be overlooked at all. The store that Moriko always goes to, it turns out that the guild leader works there as a cashier. Sakurai is Lily, and Koiwai used to work with Moriko at his old job. There is this old game that went out of service that Moriko and Sakurai used to play, and it turns out that they were best friends on there as well. Way too many conveniences which cannot be overlooked unless, I guess, you believe in fate? They literally had to meet each other 3 separate times, both in game and one in real life, and didn't realize or care to ask if they were the same person. Another flaw that I can give this is that it really didn't get good until they ran into each other, which really only happened on episode 2, but I don't know, mate. Episode 1 was a drag. It's not that I hate video games or hate getting to know MMOs. It's just that that's the majority of anime that's out now. It's just, hey, these are some MMO mechanics that you gotta get used to. Cool. So yeah, it didn't get good until any of the relationship stuff happened for me personally. But overall, I really enjoyed the story. Some of the jokes are a bit cringe, but I love it. The character interactions are great, and I love that they had different voices for their in-game counterparts. The two main characters, Sakurai and Moriko, are a bit too quirky and too socially awkward, but it's cute and doesn't overstay its welcome. All of the cute interactions between these two, the majority of them can be found in episode 10. It's so cute. Gosh, I love this. I love this so much. I do. I honestly do. I'm a sucker for romance stories, so it gets your heart racing. It gets your heart racing. And I fall for it every time. I indeed fall for it every time. P.S. Episode 11 is just an OVA and doesn't do anything else with the story. It's just an OVA that is unnecessary like most OVAs are. But yeah, that's it. Honestly, I hope you enjoyed this and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.